Hello, my lucky learners. Welcome back to Lucky English for Beginners. I am absolutely delighted to have you with me today. Find a comfortable chair, maybe pour yourself a cup of warm tea, and let the outside world fade away for a while. Today we are not traveling into the life of a famous poet or a historical novelist. Today we are traveling into the most important story of all, your story. We are going to talk about the one thing that stands between you and the English fluency you dream of. We are going to talk about fear. This is a story about how to break down the invisible wall that stops your words. It is a story about how to take the nervous beating of your heart and turn it into the rhythm of confidence. Today, we are going to learn how to speak English fluently, beautifully, and most importantly, without fear. Part 1: The Invisible Wall. Let me paint a picture for you. You are standing in a room. Someone walks up to you and asks a question in English. Suddenly, your heart starts to beat a little faster. Your palms get a little sweaty. Your brain, which knows hundreds of English words, suddenly feels completely empty. It feels as if a thick, invisible glass wall has dropped down between you and the other person. You know what you want to say, but the words refuse to leave your mouth. Does this sound familiar? If it does, I want you to take a deep breath and smile. You are completely normal. This feeling is not a sign that you are bad at English. It is a sign that you are a human being who cares about connecting with others. Fear is simply your brain's way of saying, this moment is important to me, and I don't want to mess it up. But today, we are going to teach your brain a new lesson. We are going to teach it that making a mess is exactly how you build a masterpiece. Part 2: The Myth of the Perfect Speaker. The biggest reason we feel fear when we speak English is because we are chasing a ghost. We are chasing the ghost of the perfect speaker. We think that to be fluent, we must never hesitate, never use the wrong preposition, and never have an accent. But let me tell you a secret: the perfect speaker does not exist. Even native speakers stumble over their words. Even native speakers forget what they were going to say. Even the greatest public speakers in the world say and Fluency is not about perfection. Fluency is about flow. It is like a river. A river doesn't stop flowing just because it hits a rock, it just flows around it. Your English should be like that river. Don't stop when you hit a mistake. Just flow around it. Part 3: The Spotlight Effect. Psychologists talk about something called the spotlight effect. This is the feeling that everyone is looking at you, judging you, and waiting for you to make a mistake. When you speak English, you might feel like there is a giant, bright spotlight shining right on your face. But the truth is beautiful and relieving. People are not judging your grammar, they are listening to your message. When you speak to someone, they just want to know what you are thinking. They want to hear your story. They want to connect. If you use the wrong tense, they don't care. They are just happy you are sharing a piece of your mind with them. Turn off the spotlight in your head. You are not on a stage being tested, you are at a table sharing a meal. Part 4: Your accent is your history. Many learners are terrified of their accent. They think, I don't sound like a Hollywood movie, so I shouldn't speak. My lucky learners, your accent is not a mistake. Your accent is your history. It is the music of your mother tongue playing quietly in the background of your English. It tells the world that you have lived a whole life, learned a whole language, and built a whole identity before you ever spoke a single word of English. It is a badge of honor. Never apologize for your accent. Speak clearly, speak slowly, but speak with the proud voice of exactly who and where you are. Part 5: The Power of the Ugly Sentence. When we are afraid, we try to construct perfectly beautiful, complex sentences in our heads before we speak. And because that takes too long, we end up saying nothing at all. I want to give you permission today to speak ugly sentences. If you forget the word for veterinarian, don't freeze in terror, just say the doctor for the dog. Is it a perfect sentence? No. Is it an ugly sentence? Maybe a little, but did you communicate your thought? Yes, communication is the only goal. An ugly sentence that connects two people is 1,000,000 times better than a perfect sentence that never leaves your mouth. Part 6: Breathing through the panic. Fear is a physical reaction. When you get scared to speak, your breathing becomes shallow. You don't have enough oxygen to think clearly. The next time you feel that panic rising in your chest, I want you to do something very simple. Before you answer, take one deep, slow breath. Let the silence hang in the air for just 1 second. A 1-second pause makes you look thoughtful, calm, and confident. It gives your brain the oxygen it needs to find the words. You do not have to answer at the speed of light. You have the right to take your time. Part 7: The Magic of Shadowing. How do you build confidence before you ever talk to a real person? You train your muscles. Speaking a language is a physical activity. Your tongue and your lips need to get used to making new shapes. One of the greatest tools you can ever use is shadowing. This is when you listen to a native speaker, maybe on a podcast or in a video, and you repeat exactly what they say a split second after they say it. You mimic their tone, their rhythm, and their emotion. When you join a shadowing challenge, you are training your mouth to speak without your brain getting in the way. You build muscle memory. And when your muscles know what to do, the fear begins to melt away. Part 8. Switching your internal monologue. If you want to speak English without fear, you have to start thinking in English without fear. Most people think in their native language, translate it in their head, and then try to speak. That takes too much time and it creates anxiety. Start switching your internal monologue. When you are making breakfast, narrate what you are doing in English inside your head. I am pouring the tea, the cup is hot, I am looking out the window. It doesn't matter how simple it is. You are training your brain to see the world in English. When English becomes the language of your private thoughts, it will naturally become the language of your public voice. Part 9. Finding your safe ponds. You cannot learn to swim by jumping into the middle of a stormy ocean. You learn in a quiet, safe pond. If you are afraid to speak, find your safe ponds. Practice speaking to yourself in the mirror. Practice speaking to your pet. Send voice notes to a trusted friend who is also learning. Join a 30-day speaking challenge where everyone is making mistakes together. Build your confidence in these safe places. By the time you step into the ocean of the real world, you will already know how to swim. Part 10. The art of smiling. Do you want to know the most advanced vocabulary word in the entire English language? It is a smile. When you smile while you speak, something magical happens. First, your voice physically sounds warmer and more relaxed. Second, the person listening to you automatically relaxes. A smile says, I am friendly, I am trying, and I am happy to be here. Even if you completely ruin the grammar of a sentence, if you do it with a warm smile, the other person will help you. They will guide you. Smiling is the universal language of connection that bridges any gap in your English. Part 11. Celebrate the almosts. We are very hard on ourselves. We finish a conversation and immediately think, oh, I used the wrong verb tense. We ignore the fact that we just spoke a foreign language to a stranger for 5 minutes. Start celebrating your almosts. If you almost got the sentence right, celebrate it. If you completely forgot a word but managed to explain it using your hands, celebrate it. Confidence is built by acknowledging your victories, no matter how small they are. Be your own biggest fan. Part 12. The plateau of bravery. In your journey to fluency, you will hit a plateau. You will feel like you aren't getting any better, but bravery is built on the plateau. Bravery is waking up, knowing you might make a mistake today and choosing to speak anyway. Every time you open your mouth to speak English, you are performing an act of courage. You are stepping out of your comfort zone. You are doing something that millions of people are too afraid to do. Respect your own bravery. Part 13. You are the main character. Stop treating English like a test you have to pass. You are not a student sitting in a cold classroom waiting for a grade. You are the main character in a grand adventure. When you speak English, you are a traveler navigating a new world. You are an explorer unlocking new ideas. The main character in a movie doesn't quit when things get difficult. They rise to the challenge. See yourself as the hero of your own language journey. Heroes are allowed to be scared, but they never let the fear stop them from opening the door. Part 14. The legacy of your voice. Why do you want to be fluent? Is it to pass a test? No, it is because you have a voice and you want the world to hear it. You have stories, opinions, humor, and wisdom that deserve to cross borders and oceans. If you let fear keep you silent, the world misses out on what you have to say. When you overcome your fear, you are not just helping yourself. You are inspiring your children, your friends, and your community. You are showing them that the world is big, but we are capable of making it feel like home. Part 15. Your final mission. My lucky learners, the invisible wall of fear is made of nothing but smoke. The moment you walk through it, it disappears. The next time you have the chance to speak, I want you to take a breath, smile, and let the words out. It doesn't matter if they are messy. It doesn't matter if they are slow. What matters is that they are yours. You have worked too hard and you have come too far to let fear keep your beautiful voice locked inside. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep being lucky. I will be right here, waiting to walk the next mile of this beautiful journey with you. Bye for now. Before you go, I have one question for you. What is one situation where you usually feel afraid to speak English? And what is one small thing you will do this week to show up bravely in that exact situation?